Hare Krishna, everyone. My obeisances to all. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha. Patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. In our prayers to our loving Srila Prabhupada, my father, and for all of you, your grandfather, we beg Prabhupada's presence with us and his inspiration to empower us to be able to, through transcendental sound vibration, leave this world. We want to, as we speak and we talk about Krishna, this is not happening in the material world. Not at all. It's become transformed. Okay, yeah, so we were talking about the Battle of Kurukshetra. The warriors, a real
Gurudev,
Kshatriya.
Gurudev, you were offering prayers to Srila Prabhupada and then you didn't offer the prayers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now you're scolding, you're correcting the guru?
No, Gurudev. You asked me last time to let Guru know.
Yes. Guru appreciates very much. Thank you. Perfectly in line. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavari Paskacha Deshitarne. And one of the ways I like to address the entire disciplic line or disciplic chain going all the way back to Krishna. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yathabhara Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha. So a real Kshatriya, they are so...
I will be sent this to you, Gurudev.
Oh, okay.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthad Bhutale Srimate Narahari Dasa Gurudeviti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthad Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Prasthad Devi Gauravani Prakarane Nirvise Sunyavadi Prasthadade Satarane Jai Gurudev.
Jai. We can also do this one to really be connected. I'll say, and then you repeat. We're going to do it 3 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Just with this mantra alone, of course, this was in a different yuga, but just by chanting this mantra alone, Dhruva Maharaj, he was given this mantra by Narada Muni. And just by chanting this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Krishna appeared before him. So very, very powerful, wonderful mantra.
Gurudev, so Prabhus have joined us.
Oh, nice. Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thanks for allowing us to allow in to ask us to join. Thanks, Maharaj.
Well, having you here enlivens Krishna. Krishna is so happy to see you here. And because Krishna is pleased in having your presence with us, our Sangha is going to be extra special, extra empowered.
So, Maharaj, it's my fortunate that I'm able to join.
And both of you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My son, Maharaj.
This is your...
Maharaj. He is my son. He is little one. His name is Manit Gupta. And he is Bhavit Gupta. My name is Kulpati Madhav Das.
Wow. Thank all of you for being with us. We're very grateful to have your presence.
Thanks, Maharaj. Maharaj, you are getting me clearly, Maharaj. Am I audible?
Crystal clear.
Okay. Thanks, Maharaj.
We can hear you crystal clear. Yeah. Great. And you're all Nepali?
No, Maharaj, I'm Indian. So I'm from India.
Okay.
As of now, I am in USA,
Oh, it's
Louisville,
wonderful.
Kentucky. Ghanshyam Prabhuji is very near to us. He visited our center a week or 2 weeks ago. He visited
Nice.
us. And yes, we have very small gathering, Maharaj, here. We are less in number. We just started on Prabhupada's movement. We just started our small center here. Hopefully, with all mercy of Vaishnavas, we would do better. But yeah, we just started our center.
That's great. I was telling Ganesham that if the timing could work out, then I'd be happy to give a class there to the group, because we could all do it on Zoom if the timing, my timing, your timing could work. I don't know when you meet and what time it is in Hawaii.
What time you are? I think so. Ghanshyam Prabhu told me that you are in Pacific time zone. Is it?
Pacific time zone, yeah.
So you might be having around 12 o'clock now, or probably, is it?
No, 10 o'clock. It's a little after 10 a.m.
I will check, Maharaj. Thanks for, it's a special mercy upon us. So thanks for that. I will check in our Sangha and will let you know, Maharaj.
It would be an honor. It would be an honor to be with all of you and help you get started, and be with you to share what I've learned from my 50-something years of serving Srila Prabhupada, being his disciple. That's all my life is now. I'm retired. My life is just now to spread Krishna consciousness to my last breath, which is what we witnessed in Srila Prabhupada. To his last breath, he was Uttama Adhikari. He was most elevated. He was constantly in Leela with Krishna. But he was tasting the nectar, the great nectar of serving his guru, and in that way serving in Lord Chaitanya's Leela. And actually, so Prabhupada was tasting, he realized this is Lord Chaitanya's Leela. This is happening live. We hear about the different Leelas in the spiritual world, about the rasa dance. You've heard since you were a child, Krishna in the coils of the Kaliya serpent, right? Rasa dance, all these things. Different putana. So these are things that had happened, and they still go on in some way, in different, rotating around the universe. But Lord Chaitanya's Leela is actually happening now. It's actually happening, and we're part of it. And Prabhupada knew that, and we should know that. The fact that we are here today with people, from all different, no matter where you are, we can come together, and Lord Chaitanya is watching, is so pleased. This is part of Lord Chaitanya's Leela. We're in Lord Chaitanya's Leela. So maybe in the future, when they write many, many, many hundreds of years from now, they're writing about what happened with Lord Chaitanya, how Prabhupada came, and then his disciples were distributing books, and then the computers came, and now they're meeting on computers like we're doing now and speaking Harikatha, and things that only possible by Lord Chaitanya's blessings. So anyway, we were talking about the Kshatriyas, and because Sahasa was concerned about if it gets so cold, what'll happen if he dies, and but our soul, Krishna said, "Nitvevaham jatu nasham natam neme janadipa, nachaiva nabhavishama sarvevayam atakparam." Krishna told Arjuna, never was there a time that I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future will any of us cease to be. That's hard to imagine. It's impossible to imagine, actually. It's impossible to imagine that we have always existed. When I think about that I have always existed, my brain can't accommodate it. So it kind of like, it blows my mind to try to think that we've always existed and we will always exist. So anyway, so I hope Sahasa can understand that he will never die. The soul is eternal. There's one verse in the Gita where Krishna describes that Nainam chintanti shastrani nainam dahata pavaka na chainam klediyanti na shoshayanti marata. So Krishna is saying, especially because he's speaking on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Nainam chintanti shastrani, that means the soul cannot be cut by any weapon. No weapon can cut the soul. Chintanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, nor can the soul be burned up by fire. The shoshanti marata, or by the wind, or moistened by the water. The soul can never, ever, ever be destroyed. It is eternal. And the nature of the soul, every single soul, within the heart of that soul is love of Krishna. In the heart of every living entity. This is something we should never forget, that every living entity, Krishna is in their heart. Even a little bug. We see a little bug walking, or maybe a worm outside, or a bird flying in the sky, or a fish swimming in the water. Every one of them there's a beautiful verse, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Shuddha Chabunoi, Shravanada Chuda Chitti Kurye Udoy. That in the heart of every living entity, there's love of Krishna is there. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, eternally established there. Shuddha Kabunoi. It's not something that you bring in. You don't have to bring it in. Somebody asked, when Prabhupada came to America, one interviewer, I forgot, a newspaper, radio, something, they said, they asked Prabhupada, what have you come to bring to America? What have you brought? What have you brought with you to America? Anybody know Prabhupada's answer? He said, I haven't brought anything. I've simply come to awaken what's already there, to awaken love of God in everyone's heart. It's already here. It's just lying dormant. And this is the purpose of human life, is to reawaken. Pamalochan, was there a guest that was going to come?
Yes, Gurudev, she's right here in the class. Her name is Aditi.
Aditi.
Yes.
Oh.
She's not, I don't know something happened with the setting, but she's not able to turn on her video. But
Okay.
she's in the class.
Aditi, thank you, my dear, for being with us.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Well, it's great to have you on board. It's great to have it. It's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I feel lucky to be in your class.
Oh, well, it's great. Great to have you here. Really a pleasure. Yeah, you're very fortunate to have met the great Padmalochan and Parampara. You're in very good association. They're wonderful, wonderful devotees. They're empowered. They can give you Krishna. They can help Krishna to awaken that love, that dormant love that we're all looking for. George Harrison wrote famously in the introduction to the Krishna book. He said, I don't remember it exactly word for word, but he said something to the effect that everyone is looking for Krishna. Some know it and some do not, but everyone's looking for Krishna because we're looking for love. We're looking for relationships. That is eternal. Okay, well, we've got some interesting questions that came in today. So why don't we take a look at our questions and see what we got. Okay. Oh, I see a note here that Aditi, so she just recently met you, and she became a vegetarian. She wasn't vegetarian before.
Yes, I wasn't vegetarian before, but my sister, Padma Lochan, she inspired me and motivated me to be a vegetarian.
Oh, wonderful! And can you feel the difference when I first became a vegetarian? Because I was born in the Western world, we were raised on eating meat. That's what you do. But when I became a vegetarian, my whole consciousness started to change. I felt peaceful. You know, when the animals are slaughtered, they're so full of fear. They're so full of adrenaline in their system, and they're just full of fear. And they died, and you eat them, and you makes you very anxious. Do you feel the difference? How long?
Yes, I felt the difference. At first, I used to be non-veg and I used to eat meats like chicken and then goat meat. And now, when I'm a vegetarian, I feel I feel peace and I feel like I'm not harming anyone. I'm not
Yes,
harming anyone, and then I'm just having a peaceful life, and then not harming anyone, not killing anyone.
right. That's sweet. Yeah, a Vaishnava, a devotee, is full of compassion. What when we see someone suffering, we feel the pain, and so that's wonderful. That really opens the door. Now, the next step, one step above, which Padmalochan and Paramparak can help you with, is not just eating vegetarian, but a notch above that, or infinitely higher than that, is offering the food to Krishna with just simple words. You can put the food on a little plate that you're going to eat before you eat it, and just even simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My dear Lord, please accept our humble offering. And then you can eat. Prasadam is very powerful because Krishna enters into it. Now when you're eating, it's actually Krishna. He's entering into your body. He will begin to open his heart to you. Of course, his heart's always open, but we'll make great progress spiritually. Prasadam is very, very powerful. Okay, so let's see here. Our first question, I'm sorry. Okay, so Padmalochan is asking, what are the important things that new beginners can focus in spiritual life? What is the first thing? Well, gosh, we could answer this, and I could think of unlimited ways to answer this question. And I think if you ask any devotee, advanced devotee that's been around for a while, what is important? What are the important things? I think everybody would give you a different answer. But the important thing is to recognize that there's dormant love, that our real identity, dormant love is in our hearts, but it's like sleeping. We've forgotten who we are. We all have an eternal relationship with Krishna. And what we want to do with this human form of life is to awaken our original consciousness. We want to awaken our soul that's practically sleeping. And it's dreaming. We're having basically nightmare after nightmare after nightmare. Look at this world. Look at all the problems in the world. It's so full of anxiety at every moment. But it has nothing to do with our soul. Our soul is sleeping and having a nightmare. So by associating with devotees and by chanting Hare Krishna, we want to awaken that dormant love in our hearts. And it's kind of like a child. If you take a child away from its mother, it's going to be very, very much afraid. As soon as you put the child back in the hands of the mother, the child is happy again. So in the same way, we've kind of turned away from Krishna. We want to give our hearts back to Krishna. And then we have nothing to fear in this world. And we'll be simply, because we know that no one can harm us. And I've just been dreaming, terrible dreams, life after life after life dreaming. We want to awaken our original consciousness. We want to awaken our love of Krishna. And when we awaken our love for Krishna, you know what that means? We awaken because everyone's connected to Krishna. So when we open our love to Krishna, we begin to love literally every living entity. So I would say, if I had to say one thing, that might be the most important. There's a beautiful prayer. Jeev jago, Gaura Chandra Bole, Kota Nidra Jayamaya Pishachita Kole. This is, the song is saying that Jeev jago, it means wake up, Jiva, the soul. Wake up, sleeping soul, wake up, sleeping soul. Kota Nidra Jayamaya Pishachita Kole. How long are we going to stay sleeping in the lap of illusion, the lap of Maya? Enichi Ashodimaya Nishibarolagi. Harina Mahamantra Loy Tumimagi. So I've brought the illusion that will the medicine that will wake you up from our dreamlike state. It'll awaken us. And what is that? Chanting the holy name. Harina Mahamantra. So by chanting, you're now chanting, would you say chanting 2 rounds a day now? Was that correct? Aditi, you're chanting 2 rounds a day?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. So that's the medicine. Just, it's so powerful. You want to understand that sound you're making isn't just sound. It's Krishna there, present. And he'll dance on your tongue when you chant the Maha Mantra. When you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna is dancing on your tongue. And he'll dance right into your heart and steal your heart away. Okay, so let's move on. Paramparas asking, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, verse 2, Prabhupada mentions upasana-kanda in a purport. What is upasana-kanda? Good question. So, there are, in the Vedas, there's different paths, you might say, of that are authorized in the ancient Vedic literatures. Some are for the less intelligent, some are for the more intelligent, and some instructions are for the most intelligent. Now, for those who are, their motivation is to enjoy this world, to become happy in this world. This is less intelligent. A Vaishnava, we have no interest in being in this world. But someone who studied the Vedas and they want to enjoy on a much higher standard, then there's the Karma-kanda. Karma-kanda means that you worship demigods and you will ultimately go to heavenly planets and enjoy for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years in the heavenly planets. But that's temporary. Eventually you will come back down again and it's not permanent. So that's the Karma-kanda. Then there is the gyana-kanda, where one is cultivating knowledge. And there's a not necessarily very advanced spiritual knowledge, but it can be spiritual knowledge. But knowledge can only take you so far. So there is a notch above that, is we're not just studying for the sake of studying, and learning for the sake of being like a very learned scholar. We've heard about many, many persons in India who are great scholars. They would go around and defeat people, but they're not really devotees. They know the Vedas, but they've never surrendered to Krishna. Just like many people have studied Bhagavad Gita. They know it better than I know it, better than any of us will know it. They've got the knowledge, they're gyanis, but they haven't, it hasn't brought them to surrendering to Krishna. Now, the upasana-kanda. Upasana-kanda is when we start worshiping God. We're actually worshiping. But it's not the goal of the upasana-kanda. It's not, we still want something. We're approaching God, but we want something. We're worshiping, but there's a motive behind it. They want something for us. So this is upasana-kanda. It's good. It's definitely a very good step in the right direction. But above that is bhakti. And bhakti is where we approach the Lord not for the sake of, we worship the Lord, but we worship the Lord because we want to simply awaken our love of God. We don't want anything, nothing. In the upasana-kanda, they want liberation. They want to stop suffering. My dear Lord, please. But pure bhakti, we don't ask for anything. All we want to do is to bring pleasure to the Lord, which actually brings us the highest pleasure. So this you probably read about this in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam. That's where Prabhupada talks about it. And this is right in the second verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which says, Dharma projitakaita paramoniam ratsaranam satam. Vedyam vasam atravastu shividam tapataryomulanam. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni krite kim vaparad ishvara. Sadyohrid javaruyate kratitibi shushubi stakshana. So this begins Dharma projitakaita vatra. This is, now we're going to talk about the topmost Dharma. Projita, we're going to throw out anything that has the slightest tinge of material motive. Therefore, at this point, we reject karma yoga, we reject jnana yoga, we reject upasana-kanda. We reject all of it. Simply, the Bhagavatam is about pure devotion. Anyabilasita shunyam, as Rupa Goswami describes. We simply want pure devotion to God, nothing for ourselves. Our pleasure is God's pleasure, and that's all we care about. Just like I'm giving this class right now, and all of us that are attending, this is bringing God great pleasure. It's bringing great, great pleasure to the Lord, which is why we all feel elevated. We feel stimulated. Am I right? Doesn't everybody feel like our feet are off the ground? Does everybody feel this way? By this conversation? We feel like we're not in this world. We're not in the world. And we aren't. Because it's all about Krishna. It's simply to bring pleasure to Krishna. Now, we want to purify ourselves. That's another thing. That's okay. We want to get rid of our anarthas, the unwanted things in our heart. But this is ultimately so we can serve Krishna purely. Just like, for example, let's say you're going to go on the altar and worship the deity. Well, you might wash your hands, you might take a bath, right? That's all just so that you can go on the altar. So in the same way, we want to purify our hearts so that we can approach Krishna purely. We start to see the ugly things that are in our heart, and they start to disturb us. They disturb us because we see the ugliness. And this helps us become humble, by the way. This helps us develop real humility. So anyway, upasana-kanda, it's in the right direction. It's starting to worship God, but it's not pure. They often want liberation. God, liberate me. But a devotee doesn't care birth after birth. Let me simply serve Krishna. Krishna, whatever you want. Put me in whatever situation you want. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Gurudev.
Okay.
Thank you, Gurudev.
All right. Now, page 2. Okay. I guess this is, oh yeah. Okay. This is from Nitai Parakamala. Okay. This is a quote from the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. And this is from a purport, but I must mention, this purport was not written by Prabhupada. It was by one of Prabhupada's disciples, and really good disciples. I have great faith in everything they've said because they're very careful what they write. They look to see what the previous acharyas have said on these subjects. Just as a radio broadcasts mundane news, the bona fide guru broadcasts the news from Vaikuntha. Such a Nitai saying, such a wonderful statement. Very thankful and grateful to you, Gurudev, that somehow with your mercy, I found your channel. So he's speaking kind of metaphorically that he's seeing me as like a transcendental radio, and he's tuned into my message. I listen to a certain new station. To listen to a certain new station, we have to be on the frequency, wanting to hear your realizations on how we can maintain the right frequency to continue listening about the news from the spiritual world that you broadcast. So he's talking about to be able to understand what I'm saying. Also wanted to hear your experiences and realizations on how you stayed tuned into listening to Krishna radio throughout your spiritual journey. Okay. Well, it's a gradual process. It doesn't happen all at once. When we first start in spiritual life, we have doubts. I had my doubts. When I first met devotees, I had doubts. I was skeptical. I didn't grow up in India or Nepal, where the kind of enlightenment is like, what any saintly person does. In America, they worship football players. They worship the movie stars, the real pretty ones. They worship them. There's a verse, it's funny, there's a verse in the beginning of the Bhagavatam. Sva vidra hostra karai sangstutak purushak pashu nayat karma patote to natu grama janavidaha. It's saying that those people are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Praise those men who never listen to the glories of the Lord. So, in America, I never heard any topics about enlightenment. It was just go to school, get an education, get a good job, and enjoy the world. So when I first heard about how you could experience pleasures that were far, far beyond anything within this material world, and it could connect you with your real identity, and even connect you with God, who's a beautiful, beautiful person, who's our soulmate that we've been looking for. And all you have to do is chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This sounded too good to be true. Too good to be true. So gradually, I started associating with devotees. I started chanting. And gradually, the faith became stronger because realizations were coming. It's not just like gyana. Gyana, you get, I was talking about the gyanis. The gyanis can get all kinds of knowledge, but they're not really tasting anything. They're not really, that gyana has to turn to vijnana. And the only way the vijnana, realized knowledge, comes is by pleasing Guru and pleasing Krishna. When the Guru was pleased, we say in the Gurvastika prayers, Jasya prasada bhagava prasado, Jasya prasada nagati kutopi. That means that by the mercy of Krishna, we have Guru. And by the mercy of Guru, we get Krishna. But without the blessings of the Guru, nagati kutopi. That means no advancement whatsoever. Advancement comes by the grace of Guru. So anyway, gradually, it became my world. It's kind of like, let's say, here's an analogy. Suppose a man and woman meet. They don't know each other, but they meet. Maybe there's a little attraction. And then gradually, as they get to know one another, it turns out, whoa, this is the perfect, we start really liking each other and then fall in love. It's a gradual process and it changes us forever. So it's kind of like realizing that there is a truth beyond everything that I never thought could imagine. But I was realizing it. And then the more focus I get, just like, for example, here's another example. Suppose the house is on fire. You smell a little bit of smoke. You might be thinking, maybe the toast is burning. Bro, the house is on fire, but you're smelling a little burning. And then someone comes in, no, the house is on fire. The house is on fire. Look. And they point, you see the flames. You get you want to get out of that house, right? You become very, very motivated. So when I started to realize that my whole life was like it was caught on fire. Birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, old age, disease. When I started realizing that, oh my God, I'm like on a plane that's getting ready to crash. And then another plane that will crash. And that's the material world. When I started realizing it, I focused. I was really focused. I want out of here, and I want my lover. Everybody's looking for their soulmate, isn't it? In this world, everybody wants their ultimate lover, and that lover's Krishna, and we can all have him. Krishna wants us back more than we could ever imagine. So it's realization, but it's gradual. So the more I got enthusiastic, the more I put into it, the more I focused on that channel. And then the more I realized, the more I focused on the channel even more. Nitai, look at yourself. I watched you in Parampara. You came by the temple and we met, and you weren't ready to start grabbing beads and chanting mantras. You came and had a good time, right? And look at you now. Look at the two of you now. And look how many people you've all brought. Look at all the friends you've brought. Look at the people that are here that you've brought. Everyone here came from both of you. So you're not the same persons, and you're turned into the frequency. And you find the other frequency, the things you were listening to before, disturbing. Our lives would you want to go back? Parampara, Prabhu, would you like to go back to who you were before?
No, Gurudev.
I don't even remember I don't even remember your name anymore. But you want to go, Pravin. You want to go back to Pravin?
No, Gurudev. I'm happy being
Pamalochan, you want to go back?
I can't even think that, Gurudev.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it becomes distasteful. It becomes distasteful. We've had what's called a higher taste. We're all developing and tasting that higher taste. It's the higher taste. In fact, in the Gita, Krishna says, there's a beautiful verse. Maybe Parampara or Nitai know this verse. Vishya vinivartante nirahasya dehinam rasavajam rasopyasya param drisva navartate. Either of you know that verse?
No, Gurudev.
Nitai's looking it up.
It's about how once you taste you have the higher taste. Yeah, you don't go back to the old ways of doing things.
Correct. You can't renounce. You can't renounce the material world and the things that we've done before artificially. The only way we could change our lives is by tasting something much, much better. Because it's artificial. There are many renunciates. We see them renounce. They go to Radhakund. They sit on the banks of Radhakund. But they're not. It's artificial. When we start to really experience a higher taste, we can't go back. And that's what we're all tasting. Can't go back. Too sweet. Okay, those were our questions. Does anyone have a question that we haven't? Anyone would like to add a question? We love questions.
I think Aditi have a question, Gurudev.
Okay.
I have a question. What positive energy being Krishna devotee give us?
What positive energy?
Being Krishna devotee give us.
Being a Krishna devotee gives us the most positive energy because we are positive. Most people in the world, they're not happy. When we have never even tasted happiness before. We've tasted illusions that isn't real happiness. Making our senses trying to enjoy through our material senses never works. But when we begin to taste that higher taste, it's the most positive energy. People sometimes say that they will say that we are skeptical, or we are we're not positive. We point out all the faults in the material world. We're realists. We see that in this material world, it's just an ocean of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. But we know that there's something beyond that. And when we start tasting it, we have real positive energy that nobody else has. Because all the positive energy for materialists goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Isn't it? Sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down. And sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, Brahma bhuta pasanatman shochati nakanchati samaksaveshu bhuteshu madbhaking labate param. Krishna says that for a devotee doesn't hanker or lament for anything in this world because he's tasting in his heart something so sweet that the ups and downs of this world don't affect us. Even if a devotee is going through some challenge by Krishna, he still feels Krishna in his heart. So he's always upbeat. We're always up. Very positive energy. We're very, very positive. We may be negative about the material world, but that's true. Because the material world is basically what does it say in the prayers? It's like drinking poison. Trying to enjoy the material world, independent of Krishna, it's like drinking poison. It just keeps us in illusion. But we experience the most positive energy because it's something that we've never tasted before, and it keeps getting better and better and better and better. So a devotee is always positive, where the materialist has nothing to be positive about because the reality is they're going to get old and die, and they'll never find satisfaction in this world. So we're totally positive. We're totally positive. We're realistic. We know the material world is not a place where we can enjoy, but we can enjoy the material world if we see it in connection to Krishna. We can have fun being in this world as long as we're Krishna conscious. Because this material world, though there's so many faults, it's a perfect opportunity to surrender ourselves to Krishna. That's why we have this human form of life. So devotees are very, very positive. We have something to live for. We have a goal. Most materialists, you ask them, if I could give you anything you want, what would you take? They don't know how to answer the question. Oh, I want to be famous. Oh, I want to have millions of dollars. Oh, I want to be a great rock star. Oh, I want to have a big family. A devotee, if you ask a devotee, what would you like? If I could give you anything, what would we ask for? Parampara?
Krishna Prema.
Krishna Prem. We want that love of Krishna to reawaken in our hearts. And it's already happening. We're already starting to taste. So devotees are the real positive people. You see people that are artificially positive, but they're positive, and then you see them crash back down again. Isn't it? They're up and down. That's not real positive. A devotee is super positive. We have something to work for, and we're tasting it, and we know it's real because we're tasting it. We're experiencing it in our hearts. Aditi, does that answer your question?
Thank you so much, Guruji.
Thank you for the question, and thanks for being with us. Who else has a question? Or any subject you'd like me to speak about?
Thanks, Maharaj, for such a wonderful class. I have a small question. Should I ask, Maharaj?
Please.
So, Maharaj, like non-devotee versus devotee. So, whereas the non-devotees also have Krishna Prema in dormant state, right? They also have that in their heart, but it is not awakened yet. So, Lord is planning how to get them on the path of devotion. So in that sense, how to consider, means they are on their journey basically. Devotee is little bit ahead, but non-devotees are also on their journey towards Krishna.
I'd say we're more than a little bit ahead. We're way ahead. Way ahead. Yes. But yes, everybody, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that everyone follows my path in all respects. So there's like a direct path back to Krishna, and there's a very indirect, and that may even include, taking many births and and going up to heaven and going down to hell and up and down. But gradually, we're going to wear out and eventually surrender to Krishna. Eventually. But everyone is ultimately going to go back to Krishna. We're all on the path. But the devotees, so we want to take the direct path. And right now we have an opportunity. It's like an elevator. Zoom, we can go right back to Krishna. And usually, even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bahunan jamananante, gyana-kanda prabhajante, vasudevam savamiti, smahatma sadurlabha. Krishna says, out of many thousands of men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have attained perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Manusyanam sahasreshu kashityata siddhaye, yatadam apisedanam kasyamam veti tattvataha. That hardly it takes many births to attain perfection, according to Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in the Gita that there's a verse, he says, Yesham tandikta papam jananam punya karmana te dvandva moha nirmokta bhajatimam tidivata. Krishna says, Bahunan jamanan ante. That means at the end of many births. Bahu means many. Bahunan janmana, births. Bahunan janmanan anti, after many births. Bahunam janmana gyana-kanda prapajante. Bahunan janmanan anti. Yesham tamtikata papam. After one's given up all of his sinful activities, yesham tamtikata jananam punya karmana. And he's many lifetimes of punya, of doing pious activities. That person becomes freed from dualities and they surrender to Krishna. That many births, but now we can do it in one birth. And it's Kali Yuga, so it's going to be short. We only live 100 years. We can go right back to Krishna in one lifetime, whether we're qualified or unqualified. There's a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita which says, this is Lord Chaitanya speaking. Patra vichur nahi stanastan, ye janha poitana kori premadan. That means that when Lord Chaitanya was instructing Haridas Thakur and Lord Nityananda to preach, he said, patra. Don't consider whether one is patra or apatra. That means one who's qualified, who's got some qualifications, he's done a lot of pious deeds. They've done nothing, no pious deeds. Anyone, don't discriminate. Don't look for someone who appears qualified. Even an unqualified person like Jagai and Madhai, they can take the mercy. I look back at my life. I wasn't born in Nepal and I wasn't born in India. Again, born in a meat-eating family. I don't think I had any qualification. Zero. But somehow when devotees said, please take. And here I am. So anyone can attain in this lifetime if they take, because Lord Chaitanya is so merciful. Lord Chaitanya and the Panchatattva, they broke into the storehouse of love of God and they plundered Krishna Prema. And they're, take it. Krishna didn't say that. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Ititan jnanam akyatam guya ramaya vimritai sheshena yateshasi tatakuru. Krishna told Arjuna that I've explained to you confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, most confidential knowledge. Think about it and decide what you want to do. It's your choice. But Lord Chaitanya is begging us. He's begging us. Krishna's not begging. Lord Chaitanya is begging. He's more merciful than Krishna. And the followers of Lord Chaitanya, like us, we're just practically dragging people. Chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. Don't waste your life. So if you're on this path, we're way ahead. It's true. What you said is true, that eventually everyone will go back. But they're suffering. That suffering can end now. The more we surrender to Krishna, the pain goes way down. Now, Krishna could take all of our pain away and all of our suffering in a moment. Why doesn't he do it? We're Krishna's devotees. We're Krishna's devotees. But still, we get all kinds of things happen to us. Still. Krishna could stop all that. Why doesn't he?
Gurudev, I think he wants us to understand that this place, in fact, is Dukhalayam Saswatam.
Yes. If Krishna didn't allow us to experience some of the miseries of the world, even though it's not nearly as bad as it used to be, but we would become lazy about our spiritual practices. When I look at myself and I see my body getting older and older, I can remember I was a young man. It seemed like just yesterday. Now I'm an old guy. It's like, yeah, I got to just keep going. This is watching myself age and knowing I don't have that many years left. And experiencing pains here and there, or the things not going perfectly. It keeps me fired up. It keeps me fired up. I like to watch the news. Some devotees, they don't like to watch the news. That's okay. I like to watch the news. I'm not fanatical, but pretty much every night I'll watch like 15 minutes of the summary of the news that's going on in the world. I see it's like it's on fire. There's wars everywhere. There's people are fighting everywhere. They're brutal cold. Some of you are maybe even experiencing that. In Kentucky, how cold did it get?
It's a storm. It's a storm coming here, Maharaj. It's around minus. I can talk in Celsius, so it's around minus 20 Celsius.
Oh my gosh!
It is.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Why is she talking to me? Hey Siri. Guess we're not on speaking terms anymore. Oh, I see. I'm not connected. In case she doesn't hear me. Yeah. The world is. We have this crazy president in the United States. Democracy starting to fail. I mean, every big empire has fallen, hasn't it? Every empire since the beginning of time has crashed. So America, big America, now you can see it's starting to crumble. I like seeing that. I like seeing it. This material world's horrible. But I also see that Krishna has a very merciful plan, because by letting us see the miseries of this world, it helps us turn to Krishna. Most people turn to the scientists. Oh, doctor, can you make me better? Can you stop me from aging? We turn to the scientists. We turn to the doctors. They can't help us. No one can. Only Krishna can help us. Wow, we're at the top of the hour. Any final question before we end? Did that answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj. Thanks for clarifying that. Yes, Maharaj.
We're way ahead. We're way ahead. Even Aditi, she's just chanting 2 rounds a day. She's light years ahead. Light years ahead. And once you start, you can't turn back. So we might as well just surrender. But it's a gradual process. And by the way, it's a very sweet process. Krishna tells us in the Bhagavad Gita, Shanai Shanai Uparamed Buddhar Dhriti Vahitaya. Krishna told Arjuna, just go step by step, one step at a time, step by step. We don't have to be in a huge rush. Just start chanting. Let's come regularly to the programs. Let's meet regularly. And gradually you'll see that your consciousness is changing. Ganachami is just so, he just got real serious out of nowhere when he met the very powerful, the amazing Parampara and Padmalochan. They're like magicians. They're like Krishna magicians. Look what they've done. And of course, your wife, Sandhya, she's a little was ahead of you anyway. Sandhya, right? You were already chanting regularly before.
Yes, Gurudev.
Yeah. So you're in good association.
Yes, Gurudev.
Actually,
I've seen him transform in just how long have I known you? It's only been a couple of months, maybe, if that.
4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months. Are you the same Ganasham that I met before?
No, no, Gurudev. I'm different. I think I'm different.
Yeah, there's no turning back now. You're so fortunate. You have a beautiful wife and a beautiful son and beautiful friends. There's no excuse now. So let's all stay together, united, and enjoy our voyage out of this material world back to Krishna's lotus feet. Okay, thank you all very much. Hope to see you all at our next meeting. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari.
Gurudev ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Gurudev ki jai.